I have bipolar disorder, and what bipolar disorder means is sometimes you're manic, where it's like you're on a drug, like you're on cocaine or something, and you're moving at the speed of light, and things are happening very quickly. And the other side of bipolar disorder is depression, and that's obviously the opposite. You've got this latent condition where you're just moving through life without any interests or desires or pleasure, and so it's very strange to reconcile both the mania and the depression. By far, how it has impacted my family is probably the hardest thing for me to accept even now. And I had a beautiful wife. I had a 6-year-old daughter back in about 2008, and I lost it all due to a mania episode. My brother is one of my best friends. My parents are, just fantastic people. And if I didn't have such strong bonds with them, I would have absolutely alienated them from my lives with my behavior. Fortunately, they stuck with me. They worked hard to try to bring me back. There were a lot of conflicts, and for some reason they stuck with me. I do feel guilty about that. I think if I had managed it differently years ago, that many of the hardships that my issues brought upon me might not have happened.
Early interventions is absolutely crucial when you're treating mood disorders, because the bad news about these disorders is that we can actually consider them as semi-neurodegenerative disorders. Basically, we know that in depression there is atrophy going on. Patients lose neurons. We all lose neurons as we age, but we can lose them at a faster rate if you have major depressive disorder. So the longer you let this disorder evolve, the more damage is done to the brain. So you can imagine if you have a brain that is damaged from a neuroanatomical point of view, it's going to be much harder to restore its function.
Almost daily, I am dealing with clients and files where mental health is an aspect to the problem. Not every one of my files, of course, but it's a problem that I'm keenly aware of and encounter almost daily. The main message for an employer who suspects that there may be a mental health issue, like any other health issue, is to make sure the employee understands the availability of sick leave and is encouraged to use it, to take advantage of it, and to address the problem.
It's a lot of money to all kinds of businesses out there that aren't aware of what's happening with their employees. So it's really, really important that business people pay attention and not only make sure for the health of their employee, but also financially, that it's very important.
Yes, I had a lot of gifts in life, let's just say, in terms of sport and career. And at the same time, I kind of lived a dual life because I was also living in a violent relationship, and that led to post-traumatic stress disorder, a suicide attempt, and a pretty long path to finding some stability. It was my daughter witnessing one of my beatings that made me realize, wow, I have to do something about this. I'm getting more depressed, I'm getting worse. The assaults aren't stopping, the violence is getting worse. And so I decided to swallow 3 bottles of pills and tried to end it. And by some miracle, somebody found me and saved my life.
The brain is a bit like a muscle. It needs exercise, gymnastics. So if you put it on neutral by taking somebody out of the workplace, and this may be something you wish for on a short-term basis, but you cannot keep the brain inactive too long because it's going to be more difficult to return them to work.
It's like a cancer. If you don't treat cancer initially, then they may never recover. And so many people who are suffering with mental illness are not treated in time and really are continually on long-term disability.
Fortunately, I have a wonderful relationship with my daughter now. She's 11 years old, very active, very funny, pretty like her dad. Children are incredibly resistant and incredibly able to accommodate different changes. And fortunately, at the end of all this, she's come out that she's, Daddy's little girl and one of my best little buddies.